Oh crap, I had a nightmare. Are you okay? Thank God. I love you, MacBook Pro. Hey guys, welcome back to Tech 702. I'm Mike, and I'm here today to talk to you about the MacBook Pro. This is the 13-inch model. So those of you that may have found that the Air wasn't quite enough, or if you're wondering if the jump to the top tier 13-inch may be worth it, or if it'll get you just enough done so you don't need to go to the 16-inch, this video is for you. Stick around. So here we go. Let's start with the specs and get the boring stuff out of the way first, shall we? So we have the MacBook Pro 13-inch 2020 edition. It has a 13-inch screen, which comes in at 2560 by 1600. It's a 10th gen Intel i5, 2 gigahertz, 16 gigabytes of RAM. It's 3733 DDR4. It's got Intel Iris Plus graphics, 1 terabyte SSD, and 4 Thunderbolt ports. So you have access on both sides. Very convenient depending on where your hub's at, or if you want to put your power supply on one side or the other as a preference. So far, so good. Let's keep it going. Okay, let's talk about temperatures. One of the main differences between this year's 10th gen Intel MacBook Pro and last year's is the fact that it runs a lot cooler. Now there's a couple reasons for that. One is the lower power rated chip. It's more efficient and it seems to dissipate heat better, but also this has 2 fans in it now with improved cooling. So you have double the RPMs blowing across the board, which helps. I've noticed this thing really chills between 30 and 40 degrees. And I say chill because it runs 20 to 30 degrees colder than most of the other chips of similar chips and PC systems that I've seen. So it's pretty awesome in that respect. When we fire it up with multitasking with Chrome, it's very resource intensive. So we do see about 70, but that's still, these chips can go all the way up to 100 before you really need to start worrying about them getting cooked. If I'm running intense stuff, gaming, we'll get to that, or the benchmark software, I can get it up to about 88 degrees. Let's talk about battery life. It's basically just a large phone battery in this thing. I joke, but not really. I don't know how they do the sorcery they do because it is truly a tiny battery, and this thing has no weight to it, no depth to it. I easily get 8 to 10 hours of use. 8 to 10 hours of use on this 1600p screen. It's amazing. It's wizardry, it's sorcery, magic, whatever you want to call it, but I like it, and I like it a lot. So I went ahead and benchmarked it for you. Benchmarks do not tell the whole story, obviously, with a Mac because Mac OS is optimized for the hardware, but here you go. I'll throw them up on the screen for you. We have a metal mark of 9735. We hit OpenCL at 8813. And then the Geekbench single score was 1248 with a multi of 4435. Now gaming, as I laughed about earlier, is truly a laughing matter. I just went ahead and ran it through World of Warcraft because that's my standard. That's what I rock with. So setting it all the way down at the 3rd level of settings, I was able to get around 60 frames per second in most of the areas, and between 20 to 30. I mean, to say it's playable, you can quest with it, but you can't engage in PvP combat at all. So it's kind of like you can level up your fishing and your professions until you get back to your PC, but do not count on the MacBook Pro as a gaming rig. Design, well, it's a MacBook Pro, so it's class leading. It's very svelte. It's ported nicely. Everything is ergonomically designed. It's lightweight. You could probably use it as a weapon, as a straight blade if necessary. I love the fact the way the ports are clean and laid out. Still got a headphone jack on it. And then when we open it up, that's where the party starts. Because what did we do? We got rid of the butterfly keyboard. So we have a magic keyboard now. And I feel very magical when I use it. And then of course the touch bar is kind of a and I wish they would offer a version that didn't have it. But unfortunately, if you want all the bells and whistles, that includes the touch bar for right now. So it's handy at times, but for the most part, it's kind of just there. And you know, maybe I'll jump and use an emoji during social media. That's about the extent of it. And then also we have the Touch ID fingerprint login, which coupled with the Apple Watch makes it so there's virtually no passwords necessary except when you go into encrypted or 2FA type stuff. So this MacBook Pro, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's great in my day-to-day. It's great in the way that you can put your WhatsApp, your Telegram, your iMessage, all that pushes straight to the laptop, and I really enjoy that. But there's a few things I don't enjoy. One of those is I absolutely cannot stand the atrocious file system and organization that macOS uses. There's so many weird, it's like a weird Linux distribution that somebody screwed up and didn't finish. So it's a steep learning curve for me figuring out, like, when you airdrop stuff, it goes to the download file. Well, why would my videos and photos not go to the Photos app? So the Photos app acts independently of the file system. Then you get into Final Cut Pro, which is an elite, awesome system. It's a great program as far as I can tell, but I have no idea how to use the dang thing. So using that, there's folders, there's events, it's confusing people. So if you come from a PC background, you will be more than happy with the power the system possesses, the capability it does, but it's like starting from scratch. You will feel like you're in kindergarten the first time you use this thing. There's nothing intuitive if you're coming from a PC. It's completely opposite, makes no sense. There's menus on top of menus that don't need to be there, in my opinion. So that part sucks, but I will reiterate, the smoothness of the system, the reliability, the temperature it runs at, the speed, the ease of use of the apps that you are familiar with, you will be very satisfied with this. So the 2020 MacBook Pro 13-inch, with the 10th generation chip, is it worth the extra money over the entry level? I think it is. I think we're going to get the longevity over with the extra cooling and fans, as well as I see the fact that it has about a 20 to 30% boost in single core performance. So basic operations are going to go a lot smoother. Obviously, if you want heavy editing with photos or video rendering, you would consider the 16-inch. But if you're a hobbyist like myself, this more than adequately gets what I need done on a daily basis. Anyways, if this video was helpful to you in any way, I'd really appreciate it if you like down below. Go ahead and subscribe. I have some more MacBook stuff coming up, as well as a bunch of Google and Samsung stuff in the next couple of months. I appreciate your time. Everybody stay safe out there, and I'm out of here.